The law of assumption simplified is being happy regardless of what the 3D is reflecting back to you, because that is exactly what the version of yourself that has everything, that has who they want, that lives where they want, is doing right now. They are happy regardless of what the circumstances are, regardless of what's going on. They embody the state of, I get everything that I want. But the problem that we have is we have all these wants, desires, and needs, and our happiness almost becomes conditional. I'll be happy when I have the person. I'll be happy when I have the thing. I'll be satisfied when I've made this much money. The mirror isn't going to smile back at you before you smile in the mirror. You have to go to the mirror when you're doing your mirror work every morning, and you have to smile in the mirror for that reflection to show back a smile. It's not going to do it for you. And so this is where we get confused with the law of assumption. It's really embodying the state of it's done and knowing that it's coming regardless of what the circumstances may show you. The law of assumption basically says that your most dominant thought becomes your reality. So if you have been saying to yourself for 20 years that things are so difficult, but you're trying to manifest money or an SP or this or that, whatever it is, it's could happen, it probably would happen, but it's going to be a very difficult journey, and likely you're going to give up on that path because it's so hard, and that's your most dominant thought, and so that will be your reality. But just because it took 20 years to form that assumption doesn't mean it's going to take another 20 years to create the assumption that everything is easy. The way to change an assumption is the exact same way that you created it in the first place. Repetition. This is why I say repetition dissolves your disbelief. So when you are creating a brand new assumption, what you have to do is repeat and persist so that the old, most dominant thought becomes less potent. And the only way to do that is through repetition. That is why everything I give you on this channel, on all of my packages, there are things to do throughout the day, morning and night, that you must be doing for a minimum of 30 days. I mean, I really want you to be doing it for longer, but you're going to see a huge transformation in those 30 days by repeating and persisting. And so changing an assumption is really just repeating and persisting through all of the wavering, through all of the doubt, through all of the fear, so that that new belief becomes your most dominant thought. And once that is the case, once you are so certain that everything in my life is so easy, everything happens just naturally for me, everything in my life is wonderful now, when that is your most dominant assumption, the world, people and places have no other option but to conform. Exactly how you created your undesired circumstances is exactly how to uncreate them. Repetition dissolves your disbelief. Repeat after me. Comment down below. Repetition dissolves your disbelief. I must say this like 500 times a day on my channel, but it's really true. Repetition will dissolve your disbelief. And really the most important thing about all of this is the letting go period. And I'm not just talking like letting go in an esoteric way, like la la la, I'm gonna, levitate and just let it go. Like, no. Letting go of the old story, letting go of the old BS, all of the circumstances that's happened and everything that's told you why you can't be who you want to be, and everyone's let you down and all of that story. It's letting go of that story, because let's say you're manifesting more money and you're creating a new assumption that making money is so easy. Okay, initially, when you start saying this, and you've been saying for 20 years, everything's so hard, it's going to feel a bit weird, right? It's not going to feel real, but it's fine. You persist because repetition dissolves your disbelief. But in the initial stages of you're saying to yourself, making money is so easy for me. Why is it so easy to make all this money? And then you're getting on the phone to your friend and being like, ugh, I got bills coming out my ears. Money is so hard to make. There's never enough money. All of that is your most dominant thought. So in that very moment, you are strengthening the old assumption, and the new assumption that's probably a few days old that you're just creating is nothing in comparison to what you have been building for the past few years. So you really have to stop participating in these conversations with your friends, with your family, with your partner, whatever it is, where you are talking about the old story. He didn't text me. I don't have the money. Things don't work out for me. But I'm like this because, but this happened to me then. And all of that narrative that you're creating about the old life is what is the most dominant thought. So what is going to manifest? This is why the letting go is the most important part. I would say it's the most important part, because you can create the new assumption, but if you're still harping on about what happened 20 years ago, because he said this and this happened, the new assumption isn't going to stick. It's not going to be potent enough for the world to conform to you. So you have to get to a point where the old story cannot bother you. You may waver, but then you just go and do the breath work, or you'll do a rampage, or you'll go and do some mirror work. Of course you're going to waver. That's fine. Just because you start on this journey of, I'm going to manifest this nice big house, whatever it is, just because you're starting on this journey and you're like, okay, I'm done with the old, doesn't mean that the old isn't going to still be there. It's okay that it's still there, popping up. But after a few weeks, it shouldn't be there anymore. It shouldn't still be popping up in your mind, in your reality, because you are creating a new assumption. And if you're wavering every day and you're not sticking to your routine, then the old will still persist. So that's why in the space of a week, 2 weeks, with a strict mental diet and everything else that we give you, by we, I mean me, and everything else that I give you on this channel, you shouldn't really be thinking about the old story anymore. It shouldn't have power over you. Anxiety could still be there, but it doesn't matter. You're living in a powerful state. That's really where you should be in the space of a few weeks. And remember, even if you are in that anxious state and you're still worried about this and fearful and doubting everything, your emotions don't manifest. It's your thoughts that manifest. Your thoughts create your emotions. So if you're crying and wavering and feeling emotional, that means that you need to check your thoughts. Go back to the source, which is your thoughts. You go back and you change your thoughts, and that will change your emotions over time. But even if you're doing your affirmations through tears, the thought will manifest. It's not the emotion, it's the thought. Of course, if you can meditate and visualize with the thought and the scene and the feeling, of course, that's going to amplify your manifestation. But if you're doing affirmations as a technique and you're crying because things are not working out, it's not the crying that's going to manifest. It's not the fear that's going to manifest. It's just the emotion. Thankfully, the subconscious cannot feel your feelings. It's just printing out your thoughts. That's all that's happening. So thankfully, otherwise I think we'd all be a bit, screwed. Because we're emotional beings, like we're all a bit cray-cray, right? So thankfully, your subconscious doesn't print out your feelings. It prints out your thoughts, which have a direct influence onto your feelings. But you have to remember that all these techniques are not to get anything. You're not trying to receive the house. You're not trying to even attract anything. You're reminding yourself of the version that already exists that has the thing that you want. You're doing these techniques to become, in this moment, the version of you that already exists, that has the thing, that has the money, has the man, has the woman of their dreams, the man of their dreams. That version of you already exists. So these techniques, these affirmations are reminding you then it's not to receive or to get, because when you're doing these techniques to get things, that's from a lack mentality, because the version of you that exists, that already exists right now, that already has everything that you desire right now, isn't trying to get anything because they already have everything. So make sure when you are doing these techniques, this could be the missing key as well, using whichever techniques you are, it's not to get anything. It's like, this is what it feels like to have everything. And you go about your day in that state. That's the exact way to continue using these techniques. So something that could really help you is doing the I'm the type of person method. And you can do this for the next 30 days. And essentially, I want you to decide what it is that you want, 1 to 3 things that you desire. And you're going to script based on those desires. But instead of scripting, I am so grateful that I have this nice house. I am so grateful that I have this. I am so grateful that he texts me every day. Let's say you're manifesting an SP, right? The easiest thing to manifest, by the way. People are the easiest thing to manifest. So that can be your new assumption if you are struggling to manifest another person in your life. But let's say you're manifesting an SP. So on this piece of paper, you will write I am the type of person that's loved, cherished, and adored. I'm the type of person that wakes up every morning to good morning texts, that goes to sleep with good night texts. I'm the type of person that's always a priority. I'm the type of person that can sustain healthy, loving, and committed relationships. I'm the type of person that's always the main priority. And you'll go on a literal rampage describing the type of person that has that relationship that you desire, that is with that man, and you will be describing how that man's showing up, right? I'm the type of person that receives gifts. I'm the type of person that's wined and dined. You're writing this down on this piece of paper, and every sentence will begin with, I am the type of person that, because in this moment, you are embodying the type of person that it takes to have those things, to experience that life. You're not desiring it or seeking it or wanting it. You're literally becoming it. Like, I am the type of person that's always chosen. I'm the type of person that's in a healthy, loving, committed relationship. You want to be really going on a rampage of the type of person that has the things that you desire. And then you'll take this piece of paper and you can read it morning and night, every day for 30 days, and then just forget about it. And this is really similar to scripting, where you script out your desires. But I think this is supercharged because it's embodying the person that has a thing. And so you got to get really creative, very descriptive, and really clear on the type of person that has that dream life, that dream man, that dream money, and do this for the next 30 days. And this will really help you with the law of assumption as well. I'm the type of person where everything just works out for me perfectly. I'm the type of person where I'm highly favored by life. You get my drift. So that can be an amazing technique that you can do. You only need to write it out once, unless you want to do it every day, but write it out once, read it morning and night, and then forget about it. And let's see what happens in the next 30 days. But I really just want you to take away from this video that to have an assumption that everything always works out for you perfectly is to love yourself unconditionally. Is to love every part of yourself, is to always expect the best from the world, from people, from your projects, from your family, is to just know that you are always taken care of. And that really is a law of assumption simplified. So I hope this video helped. You are worthy, you are loved, I love you. Thank you.